Great Detective Tip number 3. Learn from past cases. You may notice a pattern similar to a case you've solved before.
Now then, Mr. Barnes, we'll thank you not to leave the mansion until further notice. Understood. Hey, sounds like the police finished crushing Barnes. Let's go talk to him. Yeah. How did it came to this? Why are the police so suspicious of me? Excuse me, are you Mr. Barnes? Who might you be? I'm Detective Tim Goodmen. Mr. Dennis hired me to investigate the crime that occurred here. Is that so? Ah, my apology. I am Braden Barnes. I worked here at the Dennis residence as a butler. Do you mind if you ask you some questions, Mr. Barnes? I realize that you must be tired since you were just questioned by the police. Please, don't worry about that. If you've been hired by Mr. Dennis, then it is my duty to give you my full cooperation. But thank you. What would you like me to speak about first? About the time of the incident. I was away when the incident occurred. It wasn't until after I finished my errands and entered the house that I realized something was amiss. Do we have an alibi for this? Can somebody corroborate? I heard Turney cry out from the second floor. When I rushed upstairs, I found him collapsed on the floor in front of the jewel storage room. So that means Barnes was the first witness to arrive on the scene of the crime. Well, second witness, but the first witness that wasn't knocked out. Did you see the thief or their partner Pokemon? No, nothing like that. Wait, if Barnes ran up the stairs, you think he would have run straight into the thief? If he didn't see anyone, could they have escaped from the second floor? Did you check the storage room? Yes, the door was already open, and when I looked inside, I saw the Aurora drop was gone. There is a surrounding door next. Did we check that room too? I then contacted Mr. Dennis and the police right away. Is there anyone who can corroborate your whereabouts at the time? Unfortunately not. I was only after that Mrs. Dennis came out of her room to see what the commotion was about. So she was there near the scene of the crime. I didn't see all the Pokemon that Miss Dennis has. And the only others in the house at the time were Growlithe and Clefable. Naturally, no one can take witness statements from Pokemon, so I'm afraid I have no alibi. That's where we come in. The Pokemon that live in the mansion might know something. Mr. Barnes, do you have any idea who the thief might be? Not a clue, I'm afraid. But I do know that Mr. Dennis and I were the only ones who can freely use the key to the jewel storage room. Why can't his wife use the key? Growlithe guards that key with constant vigilance, so I imagine it would be difficult for anyone else to take it from her. What about his wife? I suppose it's now great wonder that the police suspect me, given the circumstances. But it would never do something so senseless. At least this confirms that only those two have access to the key.
Yes.
Ducklet is my dear partner Pokemon. Just look at this photo. How the bag it's carrying around? That's Ducklet with you there. Yes, isn't she adorable? Just look at the feathers, simply beautiful. But that's not all. She's so incredibly clever and even helped me out with my work. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. I tend to get a bit carried away when I speak about Ducklet. It's really no problem. You mentioned that she helps you with your work. What exactly does she do? Let's see. She runs errands for me, such as buying coffee beans from a local cafe. Pikachu can tell you more about that. Oh, she buys coffee beans. Nice. There is a place nearby called a Hi-Hat Cafe. Perhaps you heard of it? She regularly goes shopping there by herself. Is that their go-to cafe? Then it's gotta be for the Hi-Hat blend. Guess I should have been surprised that Rhyme City elites have such refined taste. I asked her to go to the cafe today, in fact, but she hasn't yet returned. Could she have wandered off somewhere? Do you have any idea where Ducklet might be? Unfortunately, no. The feathers found in the scene of crime are Ducklet's, right? Yes, no question about it. But I haven't the faintest idea why Ducklet's feathers will be there. Just the thought of her getting caught up in a crime somehow, I was so worried I could hardly think straight. Out of all the jewels in Miss Dennis' collection, he considered the Aurora Drop to be his most precious. He worked tirelessly to acquire it in the first place. You might even say the Aurora Drop is the physical manifestation, the crystallization of Mr. Dennis' career as a jeweler. I wish nothing but swift retribution on the thief who stole it from him. For someone who speaks so formally, Barnes is a pretty passionate guy, isn't he? Please, Tim, find the Aurora Drop, I'm begging you. Don't worry, sir, we're on the case.
Well...
Based on Barnes' testimony, I'm really not surprised the police suspect him. Yeah, if only there was another witness at least. About that, aren't you forgetting something, Tim? Huh? Barnes told us that Growlithe and Clefable were in the mansion at the time of the incident, remember? Oh right, maybe the Pokemon saw something. Exactly, you can leave the rest to me. Let's go crushing them, Tim. What are you guys doing here? What do they want, Great Detective? Have you finished crushing Barnes? From now anyways, we just have finished gathering our evidence. Doesn't change the fact that Barnes is still a suspect. If you don't mind, can we ask you some questions? If you insist, but I have no intention of sharing confidential information with you.
Excuse me?
Is the storage room key the reason the police suspect Barnes? Oh, so you know that much already? Well, no point in denying it. The only two people who could access the key are the homeowner and his butler, Mr. Dennis and Barnes. Seriously, his wife can't access the key? I highly doubt Miss Dennis staged all of this himself, which leaves Barnes as the only logical suspect. Not only that, there were Ducklet feathers to the crime scene, and Barnes' partner is a Ducklet. Clearly, Barnes used the key to get inside the storage room and then had Ducklet fly off with the jewel. That's my working theory. Duly noted. You don't have any decisive evidence yet, but we're going to find this Ducklet that flew the coup, and then we're going to get definitive proof. We'll see. Well, I'm counting on my own investigation. Suit yourself. Are we following any leads other than Barnes? Of course we are. We've already collected statements from every last person in this house. Do you mind if I ask you impression of each of them was? Well, I suppose I could tell you that much. Mr. Dennis seemed rather shaken by Barnes falling under suspicion, and his wife Claudia is reacting quite impetuous. She's been approaching us repeatedly to demand that we hurry up and wrap up our investigation. Oof, that's gotta be tough. Almost feel bad for Brad. One of their staff members, Turner, had been very cooperative with our investigation. He told us a lot about everything that happens up until he lost consciousness. I suppose that's all I can say for now. Thank you. We keep that in mind. The police can question people, but they can't talk to Pokemon. Interviewing the Pokemon around here might help us paint a clear picture of what went down.
Tim.
What do you have to say, Pikachu?
Yo, main Ectric. Working hard?
Or hardly working?
Hey, what did I ever do to you?
What does Manectric have to say? Manek. No need to glare at us like that, Manectric. Manectric. Calm down already. We're not going to get in the way of our police work. Brad's Manectric sure is committed to the job. True, and he's been keeping watch, so if anyone tried to hide some evidence, he'll spot it right away. I guess he is helpful in that way, but... Manek. I just wish he'd dial back his aggression towards us. Okay, Cafable, we're going to say anything now? Nope, still not talking. Growlithe, what do you have to say? Hey Growlithe, sorry to bug you when we're already feeling down, but would it be alright if we asked you some questions? Growl. We're here to catch the thief, and we need your help to do that. Growl. You're willing to talk to us if you help Sanji. Thanks. Sanji. Growlithe's nickname for Dennis, near as I can tell. Oh, right. His full name is Sanjeev Dennis, so I guess Sanji makes sense. Anyways, Growlithe, can we start with the questions? About you, Growlithe. Growl. Gotcha. As Dennis' partner, it's your job to guard the mansion. And we already know the key to the jewel storage room was around her neck. Growl. It's important to Dennis, so guarding it is important to you. Makes sense? Growl, growl. She says she'll never let anyone other than Dennis or Barnes even touch the key. Growl. You have no respect for his wife. I see. So that's why we feel extra responsible for what happened, huh? She really got a strong sense of responsibility. Don't worry, the two of us are going to crack this case.
Well...
Do you remember anything about the time of the incident? Growl. You don't know because you were napping? Growl. What? Your breakfast was so tasty that we ate it too much and it made you sleepy? Been there, believe me. Pikachu, you only drink coffee for breakfast. Hey, we really drink too much coffee. What are we even talking about? Growl, growl. We woke up when Barnes got home. That would have been right about all the commotion happened. And when we woke up, where Precious Key was gone. Growl. You know, I knew I should investigate the dog food bowl. Yeah, I can tell you're upset. Well, do whatever it takes to help us catch the thief. Thanks. We'll come ask for an assistant if anything comes up. She says Barnes is a kind and well-mannered person. He and Dennis are close, and she'll never seen them fighting or arguing. Mr. Dennis really does seem to trust Barnes after all. And Growlithe likes Barnes too. Judging from what Growlithe says, it's hard to think of Barnes as a likely culprit. There wasn't anything in Growlithe's testimonies that could help us prove Barnes' innocence. The food was drugged, Tim. Anyone could steal that key. That is vital testimony. Only one left to ask is Cafable. I do what I can get Cafable talking to us. Thanks, Pikachu. Fable, you need to talk now. Fable? What? You think we're Steve returning to the scene of the crime? You got it all wrong. We're not here to steal anything. We're actually great detectives looking to catch the thief. Please, can we answer some questions? Fable? Yes, really. Come on, you can trust us. Well, help us out, and I'm sure Claudia's bad mood will clear up too. So, we're willing to talk to us, thanks. Guess Cafable was worried we would do something bad to Miss Dennis. About you, Cafable. Do you have a job here at the mansion? No job per se, unless you count spending time with Miss Claudia. Isn't it tough hanging out for someone so prickly? Claudia's not a bad person, you say? Sorry, didn't mean to be insulting. Uh-huh. So Claudia's always arguing with someone or other? But when it's just you and her together, she starts to regret the whole thing. I get it now. Your job is to cheer her up when she gets into arguments. Wow, we're actually pretty nice. I bet Cafable very important to Miss Dennis. At the time of the incident, did anything strange happen today? Cafable saying she got real sleepy when playing in a mansion this morning. Then she dozed off and doesn't know what happened after that. That's too bad. What do you think of Barnes? Do you get along with him alright? Claudia doesn't like Barnes, so Cafable tries not to have much to do with him. But she doesn't think Barnes is a bad person. After all, she says, Barnes ran to help Turner when he got hurt. Wait, does that mean Cafable saw Barnes going upstairs to help Turner? Yep, it's gotta. Cafable, what else can you tell us? Cafable was dozing near the front door this morning. When Barnes got home from doing stuff outside, she woke up and greeted him at the door. Then Cafable and Barnes heard Turner cry out on the second floor, so they both went running upstairs. And that's when, to their surprise, they found Turner on the floor. That means that when Turner was attacked, Barnes was still on the first floor.
Okay, let's start deducing.
Pikachu has something to say. Make a deduction or just saying us to... Yeah. Start deducing. Is Barnes the culprit? According to the testimony of our Pokemon, no. Cafable's testimony.
Okay.
We've learned that Cafable greeted Barnes when we returned to the mansion. And Growlithe said she woke up at exactly the same time. Barnes and the others only became aware of the crime after that. Doesn't that mean Barnes couldn't be the culprit? Barnes was on the first floor when Turner was attacked. That would have made it very difficult for Barnes to steal the jewel. I'm not sure we can prove Barnes innocent with that alone. Yeah, we can't exactly disclose his testimony came from Pokemon. No one will believe us. It looks like we're going to need other evidence to prove his innocence. Barnes has an alibi. We can't lift the suspicion around Barnes with Scafable testimony alone. I think we're going to need some other kind of evidence to prove his innocence. But where should we look for it? Nothing immediately comes to mind. We can look at the garden, see if Ducklet's there. At times like this, it's best to try to investigate other leads. You might find a thread somewhere unexpected that leads us back to this. To get close to the truth of this case, you've got no choice but find the Pokemon that the witnesses saw. Witnesses report seeing a red Pokemon in Ducklet. I wonder if the Pokemon that caught up in the jewel case is that culprit's Pokemon. A red Pokemon might be a Scizor. I'm pretty sure that would be strong enough to be able to cut clearly through glass. It makes sense to think that, but no such human was seen by witnesses. Having said that though, we might learn something if we can find the red Pokemon. Let's head to the city and get some leads on that red Pokemon. I'm sure we'll be able to figure out what Pokemon it actually is. At this point, it seems pretty unlikely that Barnes is the culprit. But then, why did Ducklet leave from the second floor window? Seems unlikely that it got nothing to do with the jewel thief. Finding Ducklet would be the quickest way to confirm that. Good call. Let's head into the city and look for her.
Okay.
Looks like the only way to continue our investigation is to gather info in the city. But where should we go? Should we go after Ducklet or search for the red Pokemon? If we're unsure, why don't we try following Ducklet? I think we have a better lead to go on for that than for the red Pokemon. Oh, right. We did hear that Ducklet was supposed to go buy coffee beans today. I bet you she went to the High Hat Cafe. You're right. We should probably go search the cafe. Let's not waste any time, Tim.
I feel a bolt of brilliance coming. It's hard to be struck by one when you're really tired. Tim, how about we take a break?